So I have my graphic. Now it's time to resize it. So I don't want to have the name of the artist and the graphic grouped. So I can just right click and ungroup. And then now you can see that they're independent. Everything is independent. I ungrouped everything. And then I can just draw a box around the Haida graphic and then group it. Alright, so I have my icon. It's now time to draw another artboard. So I'm going to take the artboard tool and I'm just going to draw here another artboard. You guys have exact dimensions for the final. This time I'm just going to eyeball something similar. So let's say this was a smaller icon that I wanted to resize this graphic to. If I select it and I hit Control C, Control V, it's going to create an exact duplicate of it. If I right click on it and I go to transform, I can transform also manually just to see. I'm going to go to maybe 20%. Make sure, oops, sorry, I'm going to go to the uniform, make sure it's 20%. Click preview. It's a little small. Go to 30%. Maybe, yeah, that's okay. So go to 30%. And all it did was resize my graphic proportionally. So now if we look at my graphic, it's going to be a little weird. You can see the red shapes have kind of not transferred very well. And I'll show you why. Because the stroke that we applied to the red graphics previously are using the point system. So this is going to be 6 points irregardless of the size of the graphic that I resized this to. So these stroke points are still 6 points. So you get kind of like a bloated effect, right? Like the red is blown out. So if that happened to you in your graphic, there's just one simple step that you have to go through before resizing. So you would select again all the red objects and then go to Object, Path, and hit Outline Stroke. So I'm going to zoom into a red area and you're going to see this stroke is still dynamic. I can add width to it. But if I go Object, Path, Outline Stroke, look at the stroke now. It becomes a shape rather than a stroke. Now you can see I don't have the option to change the width of my stroke. What it did was it just created a shape with the stroke, a vector shape. It outlined it. So now if I go to resize my graphic, you're going to see it resizes exactly how I want it to, because the strokes are not what is called dynamic. Like the circle in the raven's mouth, which is the sun. Spacebar will allow you to move your canvas over. It's still the same size. So that's important to outline stroke. One last thing, and this is a little quick trick that is definitely important for print. But let's say I want to now export this graphic. I want to make sure that everything is proper for export, so that if I was to open the file in a different program or in a different version of Illustrator, or I just don't have that font installed on, let's say, my laptop, I want to make sure that all my graphics have been what is called expanded, which is very similar to the path outline stroke, except in this case it's going to expand all the objects, the fills. I have no strokes selected, and it's going to turn my text, rather than being in points, it's going to expand my text so that everything is vector. This is ideal for making sure your design is going to be exactly how you designed it.